So here is the practice test for Unit 7. With the first question, we're going to find the following expressions that are the fourth degree trinomials, and it says select all that apply. So fourth degree means the exponent, the highest exponent we see needs to be a 4. Alright, so if you look at this one, if I would add these exponents together, I would get a 3. Add these exponents together, I would get a 4. And this exponent is obviously going to be a 4. So that is a fourth degree trinomial. And it is a trinomial because there are 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. So I would select A. B also is going to be a fourth degree trinomial because there's 1, 2, 3 terms. And the highest exponent is a 4. I don't have to add any exponents that are in one term because they all just have either one variable. So B is also an answer. Okay, I would go to the next one. If I look at this one, this degree on this one would be 2, this one would be a 4, and this one would obviously have a 0. Okay, now if you think about it, that 4 is still the fourth degree, and it's going to be a trinomial because there's 1, 2, 3 terms. This would be a 6th degree, so that one's going to be automatically out because it's not a fourth degree trinomial. And it's actually a binomial because it only has 2 terms. So A, B, and C all work on the practice test. Number 2, it says write it in standard form. Standard form means you start with the highest exponent and you work your way down in descending order. So the highest exponent is negative x to the 5th. Well, if you look at it, there's only one answer that has negative x to the 5th, but just to kind of continue the problem, I would use 7x to the 4th plus 8x squared minus 9x minus 5. And again, I told you there's only one that starts with negative x to the 5th, aka your standard form, highest exponent to lowest exponent, so that would be C. Number 3, we are just adding, so we're going to combine like terms. So if I look at this, 5x cubed, 2x cubed, I start with the highest exponent, that would be 7x cubed. Because 5 plus 2 would be 7. When you add, you do not change the exponent. So then I would go to x squared. Well, there's only one x squared, so I'm just going to write it one time, negative 5x squared. Then I would go to the next one, which would be 7x and negative x. So what's 7 minus 1? Well, that's 6. So I would do 6x. And I would go to the last part, which would be negative 8 plus 3, which would be negative 5. So that would be the answer to adding. Now subtracting is a little bit different because what do you have to do with all the signs in the second parenthesis? Hopefully you're sitting there watching this and I got to change all the signs so that positive 2x squared is going to become a negative. The negative 8x is going to become a positive. And that positive 6 is going to become a negative. So I'd have negative 7x plus 5. I would complete this problem by doing the highest exponent, so negative 2x squared to start off with. Then I would go to my x's. Negative 7 plus 8 would be a positive 1, so I'm going to put plus x. I would end with 5 minus 6, which would be a negative 1. So that would be the answer to that problem. Number 5, it says find the product. You can distribute or you can do the box method. I'm going to do the box method on this one just because I know I like to emphasize that whenever I'm teaching it. So the box method, I would have negative 16 y to the 4th, so I take 2 times negative 8 and I add the exponents. Same way here, I would take 7 times 8, which would be negative 56. I would add the exponents, and then I would take negative 8 times negative 5, which would be 40, and I would obviously still have the y squared. So if you look at your answers, the correct answer ends up being B. Okay? Don't forget your y squared at the end, or adding the y squareds to the other existing exponents. Number 6 is still the box method. It's just going to be a lot more multiplication. So I have 6x squared and an 8, and then I have 3x squared, negative 5x, and 7 on my box. So this will give me 18x to the 5th, or 4th, sorry. 18x to the 4th, negative 30x to the 3rd, and then 42x squared. And then I would also have 24x squared in this one, negative 40x in this one, and a positive 56. So the only thing I'm going to really be able to combine would be this one and this term. So 42 plus 24, which would be 64. So I have 18x to the 4th minus 30x cubed plus 66, sorry. X to the 2nd minus 40x plus 56. So then after you multiply, you add the stuff inside the box, and it just again turns into combined like terms. This one, do not forget, you don't distribute the 2. Instead, when it says to square something, you should write it twice. So this means we're also going to do the box method again. So we're going to do 6y minus 2 down the side, and 6y minus 2 across the top. So I'd have 36y squared, negative 12y, and a positive 4. So if you think about this, these do not cancel each other out. In fact, they make a bigger negative, so it should be negative 24y. So that makes the answer A. Number 8, we're going to find the product again. So we're going to do the box method again, or you can do the FOIL on this one if you want. It's kind of up to you on how you want to do it. So I'd have 16x squared, 28x, negative 28x, and negative 49. So again, you would add like terms after you multiply. Well, I would add those. They would cancel each other out. So I'd have 16x squared minus 49. Okay. It says, what is the greatest common factor? Well, this is the one that we like to list out the factors. So I would do 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. I'd write out 4 y's, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And this one I would do 1 and 4, 2 and 2. This one has 2 y's, this one has 1 y. So I can circle 1 y in each thing. So now it's going to be part of my GCF. And the biggest number they all have in common would be a 4. So I know it's going to be 4y. We like to see this as well because the leading term is negative. I like to make my GCF negative. So we are kind of looking for negative 4y, but if you wrote just 4y, that would be fine as well. Number 10, it says factor out the GCF. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to write down the problem. I'm going to write down my factors. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 and 2, 1 and 6, 2 and 3, 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, and I'm going to have 2 x's and 1 x. So I'm going to circle. There are no x's to factor out, but if you think about it, I can take a 2 out of all of them. So the GCF would be a 2. The other one that has a GCF factored out would be C, because that would be the only thing that I can factor out. Number 11, don't forget when you do factoring like this, it's called easy factoring. This is a trinomial. It goes x squared x and then a number. It's got to multiply to the last number but adds in the middle, so I'm going to do the factors of 21, 1 and 21, 3 and 7. Is there a pair that adds a 10? Yes, 3 and 7 do, but I want to add to a negative 10, so what I have to do with both these signs, I have to make them both a negative, and then you'd write it like this, x minus 3, x minus 7, because I still want that x squared to start with, and so that would give me A. Number 12, it says what is the factored form? So I do the same thing. It's a trinomial, right? Negative 10. Okay, I would list the factors of negative 10. I would do 1 and 10, 2 and 5. And because the middle number is a positive, I know the right column needs to be positive, so I'll make the left column negative. If you think about it, negative 2 plus 5 gives me that positive 3, so I'm going to do x minus 2, x plus 5. Number 13, you would do the GCF. You can't do that. You would try to do easy factoring. You can't do that. So we go to our last resort, which is the AC method. So I would take 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12. So I need to find the factors of negative 12 that multiply to negative 12 but add to a negative 11. So again, I know if it's negative, the right side is going to be negative because the bigger number needs to be negative. Well, 1 and negative 12 gives me that negative 11y. So I would do 3y squared plus y minus 12y minus 4. I would split it down the middle, factor out a y from this column, factor out a negative 4 from this column. You know you did it right when these two things match up. So then I would write my final answer as y minus 4, combine those two, and then 3y plus 1. Number 14, I need to multiply to 36, but add to a negative 12, so I would do 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 goes into it 9 times, 6 and 6. And if you think about it, if you make them both a negative, it's going to factor into that negative 12. Well, x minus 6 and x minus 6 is the same as saying x minus 6 to the second power, so the answer is A. And then 15, you can't do GCF, so you have to do the AC method, so I would do 2 times 10. To give me 20. I'll list out the factors of 20. I'm trying to find the pair that adds to 9. Well, that'd be 4 and 5, so I'd rewrite it. 2x squared plus 4x plus 5x plus 10. Split it down the middle. I can factor out 2x of this one, so I'd have x plus 2 left over. The GCF of these two would be 5, so I'd have x plus 2 left over. Again, you know you did the AC method right when these two match up. So then I would have 2x plus 5 and x plus 2. That would be your answer for number 15. If you guys have any questions, make sure you reach out. Make sure you study for this test. This is a good test to kind of get your grade back up, go in the right direction.